Hello guys, just wanted to make a little video here and go over some very quick shortcuts and some use of snaps toggle in ways that I might not have shown on this channel here before. This is kind of basic stuff if you know what you're doing, but what you're looking at here, you're actually looking at the top side here, and I'll zoom out just a little bit. This is part of a grandstand that I'm building, and if I come around the front, this is the view that you would see from the track here. And I'm trying to fill in that gap between this face and this face. Obviously you don't want this big open gap here from that view. In a lot of cases, the edges would line up with each other perfectly, but in this case it doesn't. So I thought this would make an interesting little video, show some shortcuts and different things here. If the back of the grandstand was closed up, you could just take those leading edge here on the bottom, something like that. And I'll just show you what I'm talking about here. It's easier to show you. If I hold shift and drag select that out, what I could do is actually just extend it back behind there, kind of willy-nilly, just to make sure that that gap is completely covered. In this particular instance, I want that gap to be perfectly filled, and I don't want any extra polygons or any gaps. So, and like I said, this series of polys and this series of polys don't line up where the edges are, so it makes it a little bit difficult. You can go through, the old way would have been to go to editable polygon and just create triangles, one by one until you get it completely filled in, and that works. That's definitely one way to do it. Another way to do it would be to just hold shift and drag select or create a new polygon off that edge, and then get to Vertex, and I go over a couple shortcuts here. If you hit Q, it moves to selection on your keyboard, just hitting Q. You hit W, you notice it switches to the select and move tool up here. If you hit E, it moves to select and rotate. R is select and scale. If you go down here, you notice these two toggles here. If you hit A, it turns on the angle snap. And you hit S, it turns on the snaps toggle. These here work on whatever you're working on. If you're in the vertex mode, you can select and move and snap a vertex to another vertex or an edge, and I'll go over that here in just a second. Edges, polygons, things like that, you would want to rotate, so you'd hit A on the keyboard, and obviously you can hit that button with the mouse as well, but might save you a little bit of time if you've already got your hand on the keyboard. Kind of rest your left hand over those keys, and it helps you quickly select back and forth. So I'm going to go to Vertex, and in this case I'm going to Control R to rotate around that vertex there. Z to zoom in a little bit. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to snap this vertex over to that one. So I'm going to hit S, which depresses that snaps toggle. And I believe you can configure these up here as shortcuts as well if you wanted to. Two different ways you could do it. You go right click customize, and it brings up this menu, and I think you can put the shortcut in here. And then you can also go to customize preferences, and I haven't set that up, so I don't know any further than that, but excuse me. So I've got the snap selected. I'm going to go to vertex snap toggle, and now with the move select tool I can grab that and move over here, and as soon as I get near that, it snaps to it. Let go of the left mouse button, and there you go. Now if you go over here to this other one, hit Z to zoom in, Control R to rotate around it. You can see that there's no vertex back here for me to snap to. So if I do, try to do that, it's going to go crazy because there's nothing there. So I'm going to deselect the vertex, and I'm going to go over to snap to edge segment toggle, and then I'm going to bring it over to, if I bring it to any edge, you can see that that vertex snaps to it. Kind of goes crazy and disappears if there's nothing around, but when it sees one, it'll turn yellow, and when it's able to snap, it'll turn green. Hopefully that shows up in the video. But as I move over, I'm still holding left mouse button, it turns yellow, and then it turns green when it's able to snap to it. So as long as it's green, it'll stay snapped to that edge, and you can see, as long as I carefully move the mouse along that edge, it'll stay snapped to it. If you move too far away, it'll go back to yellow or back to not selected. Control R. And that works the same. If you want to move it, adjust it and go, well, I want to move that a little bit. Again, you can select the vertex. You can move it wherever you want to do it, but as long as it stays green, it'll stay on that segment, or excuse me, that edge. So you can adjust that way. And then I would do the same thing. I would go to edge, turn off the snap toggle, right shift, bring that out. And then I would do the same thing over here. Vertex, snap, turn that one off, turn this one on. Snap that vertex there. And once again, there's no vertex to snap to, so I'm going to have to use the snap to edge segment toggle there. And same as before, as soon as it's able to snap to it, it'll turn green. And doing it that way, you end up with no overhang here, and no overhang here, and no gaps on either side there. So hopefully that helps you out in some areas. That's something that took me a long time to figure out. So I think that covers everything I need to cover in this video. Thanks for watching.